So, over on the Patreon account, that's patreon.com/5G4D, I've started something new, exclusive content for listeners called Battle Reports. That's where me and my very close friend, Steven Cyrek, play a game, talk about the game, and sort of fill you in on our gaming experience. It's like sitting around the table and being with us. Does that sound horrendous? You better believe it. So I thought I would release one of them just to see what you're missing. And maybe if you listen to it, you think it's good, you can come over to patreon.com/5G4D. And for $5 a month, you can get access to all of the exclusive Patreon content. There are essays, convention reports, interviews with designers. I mean, lots of stuff. There's got to be 20 hours of material there already. So I hope you enjoy this Battle Report. Battle Report with Ben and Steve. It's another Battle Report, with Ben and Steve.
Mordor. My precious. Oh, gold.
Mordor.
Oh, get your hands off my precious.
Blood Bowl. Mordor.
Oh, I was going down the shops the other day and I said, I'll have 6 my precious and 20 nasty hobbitses, please, and a portion of chips.
What are we playing today, Steve?
Can you do your Nazgul?
All right.
No, the one you did before with the shriek. That was really good.
Now that was the and they fed him the fellest of meat. That's not the Nazgul, that's the monster he rides on.
Which
That's
monster?
the winged monster. They fed him the fellest of meats. The Nazgul's like,
What do you call that thing?
It's like a
Does it
monster.
have like multiple heads?
No, it's just got one head,
I thought it had like 3.
through which it ate the fellest of meat.
Well, Ben, we're playing War of the Ring.
War of the Rings, Steve.
Yeah, nobody would have figured that out though.
We don't know the rules, do we?
I mean, I read the rule book and watched several videos. I know the game has rules.
I've played it like 5 times at least.
I mean, this is
And
one
I
of
can't
those.
remember the rules.
This is one of those super thematic games where they're trying to be faithful to the books, which means lots of exceptions and fiddly bits and random events. And who the fuck could possibly know the rules to this game?
You don't have a chance, horse mistress. Who are you? I'm Witchy Woman from Angmar. I'm gonna stab you in the face with my sword.
It's a direct quotation from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
How'd you memorize that?
I'm quite the nerd.
You're a big fan of the.
I mean, I
novels,
auditioned.
right?
I auditioned for Mary.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
That's a true story, isn't it?
Ooh, no, I wish it was.
Oh.
Although a girl I went to drama school with
Yeah.
was very close friends with Dominic Monaghan.
Yeah.
He was filming it while I was at drama school, and she was giving us feedback reports on what was happening in the filming.
That means you're like 2 steps removed
Yeah.
from people who are actually in the movie.
Oh, I'm not going nowhere without the Frodo. Oh, I love a smoke of weed.
Can I have another sip of your special tree sap, tree beard?
That was my audition. What do you think? So you are.
Yeah.
You're like Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Or Fran Walsh.
Yeah.
You can choose to be either.
All right, I have to like go gain some weight and grow my beard longer
Right.
for Fran.
I wasn't going to crack that joke because I was too bloody easy. Have you ever seen Fran Walsh?
No,
No one has. She doesn't
Nope.
take pictures, does she?
I don't know. I never really thought about it.
So, I'm auditioning for Mary. So I come in.
Yeah. Okay, so what is your name?
Hi, my name's Ben Maddox.
Okay, and looks like you're auditioning for extra number 5.
Well, I was thinking I'd quite like to read for the part of Mary.
We really need a lot of dead bodies in this scene. We're doing Helm's Deep.
All right. Oh! Oh! I'm not going nowhere without the Frodo and my lady. Oh! Stabbed Witch King from Mandytown.
Which is the one who looks into the Palantir when he's not supposed to?
That's Pippin.
God, I lose track.
Well, you should know this, Peter.
Mary is.
You're directing this, Peter. You should know this.
I never read the books.
How did you write the scripts then?
I didn't.
Who did? Fran.
Ghostwriter. Yeah, I mean, this is what...
Ghost Rider. Nicolas Cage wrote the script for Lord of the Rings.
You know, Elijah Wood never read Lord of the Rings.
Didn't he?
No. Nope.
Do you think he was related to trees back in the past?
Because his last name is Wood?
Yeah.
It seems plausible.
Or is it WOULD? So he's always up for everything.
No, he's WOOD, so he's definitely related to trees.
Anyway, so who are you playing anyway, Steve?
Well, you told me before we started that you always play the Free Peoples. I don't know why.
I don't like the baddies. I like the goodies. I like to be the hobbit.
What is your...
Oh, Mr. Frodo! I won't let you get away!
How many times have you played this game?
Like 5 or 6 times?
Yeah, every time the Free Peoples?
Every time the Free Peoples.
How many times have you won?
Have a guess.
Is the number shaped like the One Ring?
Very much so. But... in my defense, the person I was playing with is an ex-physics researcher from MIT.
Which makes him automatically good at board games?
Well, better than me.
Okay.
He's got a strategic mind.
Do you think knowing the story of Lord of the Rings intimately would help you in this game?
No.
No, not at all.
I know the story intimately.
How come you didn't think maybe I should try the other side? And...
Oh, because it don't feel good. It don't feel seemly. I like being the companions. Oh, you're not coming past here, mate. You know what I mean?
You mean you shall not pass?
That's what I said. Hey, you're not coming in here, mate.
I drew a line, don't cross it.
You fiery bastards. That's why we voted out the EU. Safari bastards like you wouldn't come in.
Oh, you're saying that Lord of the Rings is actually an allegory for Brexit?
It's very...
Avant le lettre.
He had incredible foresight.
Yeah.
Did Tolkien.
He had a Palantir of his own, you might say.
That he looked into. Oh, he would say.
Yeah.
I'll have another pipe. He smoked pipes, didn't he?
Yeah, I guess so. Interesting life. There was just a movie about him. Did you see it?
I had no interest.
see it.
It's about him in the First World War, was it?
I guess so. I don't know. I didn't see it either.
care. So
He was born in South Africa.
He was. Well, a lot of posh British people were born. Like George Orwell was born in India, wasn't he?
India.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said South Africa.
Yeah, but abroad, a lot.
Like in the empire.
Yeah, exactly.
How's your empire doing now?
I mean, great.
In what sense?
Well, I mean, in the sense of me not being pro-empire, it's basically dismantled now, which is a positive thing.
Let's talk about a different empire. Let's talk about the Empire of Shadow that's about to creep across the face of Middle Earth.
And they fed it the fattest of meats.
I mean, it seems to me that the evil player in this game has a distinct advantage. I mean, it's fucking red minis as far as the eye can see. Apparently, I have an unlimited supply of orcs.
You do. But I only have to get 4 victory points by battle,
I gotta get 10.
and you got to get 10.
Yeah.
Also, I
But
have
once-
another
once-
victory condition.
But when your guys are dead, they're dead for good.
They
Wait,
are, but
no,
I get another
well,
victory condition.
What do you mean you have another victory condition?
I can get the hobbits into the crack of doom and throw the ring into the crack of doom.
You have my fucking ring?
It's not your ring.
All of my power and
That's
essence
true.
is bound to this ring. I
That's-
must have it back.
All of your curmudgeonliness and
my
self-absorption,
cynicism, my fear,
your desire to one-up everyone.
my desire for control over every aspect of my life and the lives of those around me.
I'm glad you're wearing your glasses today, though, because Steve's been wearing contact lenses recently, and it's been rather discombobulating.
I forgot to put them on this morning.
You did, yeah. I'm glad you're wearing your glasses. You seem more homey and amenable, less sort of openly misogynistic.
You don't think the glasses make me seem like intellectual? And
Oh yeah,
aloof?
that as well. But sort of tweed jacket, pipe and slippers intellectual.
I used to wear a tweed jacket.
I have absolutely no doubt that that's true.
Never got into the pipes, but I mean, it's only a matter of time.
Well, I mean, now you're the age, aren't you?
Am I?
Yeah, 40s, pipes.
Is it pipe 40s?
It's seemly. Those dickheads who are like 18 and smoke a pipe. Because I'm reading Sartre at the moment, I'm smoking a pipe.
I'm an old soul. That's an
Exactly.
18-year-old boy's voice.
You're a bellend.
Yeah, agreed. I read The Lord of the Rings for the first time a little bit later than most. I think I was 15, maybe?
I was 17 when I read it the first time.
That's pretty late.
Yeah, it is.
That's pretty late. And you know what? I was in the middle of let's say the second book, I don't remember, and I mentioned to a classmate that I was reading them, and he fucking told me the ending.
I mean, that doesn't matter. They throw it in the thing. Everyone wins. They go back.
Yeah, like that.
They kill Sharky.
Like that.
Signed.
Kill Sharky. Yeah,
Signed.
Sharky was great. Why wasn't Sharky in the movie? They should have called the entire movie, they should have called it Sharky.
I mean, the problem is,
Can you imagine a telling of the Lord of the Rings from Sharky's point of view?
the thing is, there's like 17 endings anyway.
Yeah.
And then he tacks on like a really long one at the end. So there's like 19 endings.
It seems like really unnecessary to have that ending, right?
Great though. I love it. I love it.
The Scouring of the Shire.
Oh, I love the Scouring of the Shire.
Why?
I just like the underdogs up against the ruffians. I've just finished
It's some
listening
kind
to
of
the
working class Midlands industrialism parable shit, right?
Exactly,
You know,
absolutely.
That's why you're into it.
But you know what my favourite bit in the book was?
Should I guess?
Yeah.
Your favorite bit in the book? Was it that hardcore sex scene between Aragorn and Arwen?
I did get the original manuscript, so he cut that out in the printed version.
Yeah, it's a real shame.
It's
Censorship in the mid 20th century was terrible.
It's the bit where he's describing the flying beast on which the Nazguls ride, and he describes how he makes it into the beast that it is.
Yeah, how does he do that?
And he fed it the fellest of meat.
So why do you like this bit so much?
Because I don't know, fell meat.
Fell meat.
Who don't like fell meat?
He uses a lot of arcane words like
Fell.
yeah.
Kine. He uses kine so much.
Kine?
The plural for cow.
Kine. Okay, yeah.
Cow,
That's the
kine.
old-fashioned, yeah,
Yeah.
kine.
A lot.
Does he use the word eldritch?
No, that's a Lovecraft thing. That's not a Tolkien
Okay.
thing.
I liked the dwarves.
Stygian.
The dwarves would always carve things from the living rock.
Yeah, rock don't live though, does it?
No.
By the standard
No,
definition of rock.
I don't really get it, but it's evocative, right?
So, who do you think's going to win? The Free Peoples? Oh, Mr. Frodo! Oh, give us a kiss! Or the evil Yeah.
You know, there's something funny about a game, the entire premise of which is like counterfactual. I mean, I guess it's like playing a World War II game.
Exactly.
I mean, events transpired in a certain way. We are reliving those events.
Yeah.
So I put to you the question, if they had entrusted not Frodo with the ring, but you,
Yep.
how do you think that would have gone?
Signed.
I speculate you would not have made it past the pub and brie.
I'd have been signed. Get on Twitter. Got this ring, needs delivery to Mordor. Anyone
Hashtag crack of doom.
up for it? Hashtag my precious, hashtag crack of doom.
Yeah, at Witch King of Angmar responds, where do you have that ring again?
Brie, mate. I mean Brie. At the Prancing Pony.
I'll meet you there in the afternoon.
Yeah, signed. Hashtag sorted. Hashtag more pints.
Hashtag Dunedain, stay away.
Hashtag stride as a cuck.
Okay, let's say you didn't have Twitter.
I'd be all right. I bike tour, innit? It's an excuse for a bike
No,
tour.
there are no bikes.
Well, walking tour
There's
then.
barely any roads.
Walking tour, innit?
They just like walk across the open countryside. In fact,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to even be on the road.
Like if Strider's here and he's like, Mr. Underhill, I suggest you hide your ring piece from the people in the bar.
God, you really know this book well.
I'd be like, all right then, all right. Where we going, Strider? And he'd go, the sword that was reforged. Hashtag hard again.
What was the name of that sword?
Its name was Anduril, the Flame of the West, Steve.
Didn't they rename it though?
That's the new name.
What was
Anduril.
the old name?
I can't remember.
It started with an N, didn't it? Nimrod.
No, Narsil. Steve.
Narsil, that's it. That's
Oh
it.
my
See,
God, Steve!
we got there together. I didn't just listen to the book.
Amazing. Yeah. So
The
anyway,
Shards of Narsil.
who do you think's gonna win?
Remember Boromir? Oh, the Shards of Narsil. Yeah, a bunch of garbage. Throws it on the floor.
He does. We said bunch of garbage.
And then who was it? Arwen or something?
Boston?
Oh no, Aragorn does that weird
Yeah.
prayer gesture to the sword.
bunch of garbage.
You know what? I don't like. I don't really think they're the good people. By the way,
Why not?
Solving all their problems with violence
No, do you know
and swords.
one thing I realised about Lord of the Rings?
Oh, I know how we can save the world. Let's send a couple of fucking midgets to a volcano. Sorry, little people.
Do you know, the thing is though, I realised, there's the one point with Treebeard,
Yeah.
right? And with Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
And he goes, I thought you was a couple of orcs. I was going to stand on you. And I just realised everyone in Lord of the Rings is a murderer. Just everyone's a murderer. That's their default position.
Yeah, murder.
Murder people.
Yeah. Yeah. Why does Smeagol turn into Gollum?
Murder.
The original sin. It's
But
almost biblical.
like Treebeard is supposed to be like, the goodness, spirit of the forest. And his first thing is, orcs.
Oh, you know what I missed from the movie?
Step on them.
I like the Huorns. You know why? They just fucking murder.
They do.
Right?
Neurons.
That's that great scene where the orcs ride into the forest.
Yeah.
That somehow mysteriously appears outside of Helm's
Yeah.
Deep, but they don't ride out.
They don't ride out. And that ground was forever cursed, and nothing grew upon it.
Well, maybe later on, because this is apparently the past of our own world.
All right. Well, I'm trying
Do
to
you think that bit of ground where nothing grows is still there, like in some part of Europe?
Yeah, it's called Lemster. Am I right? Am I right? That's no one's gonna get that gag. So,
Yeah.
who do you think's gonna win?
Who do I think is going to win? I mean, you did pretty well with the orcs when we played Blood Bowl recently.
Yeah, I won that.
Yep, you did. But
Recently.
this time you're not playing as the orcs.
No, I'm
you're
playing as the Free Peoples.
Yeah, so you're kind of your instinct for how to play on the orc side is not an advantage to in this game. And you're playing as the Free Peoples, the side of good. But are you inherently good?
Me, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, can you like really get into the psychology of this side of things?
Yeah. Yeah. I can.
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna win. I mean, probably me.
Excellent. Well, before we come back at some point during the game, remember, they fed it the fellest of meats. I still get the last word. So,
Yeah.
Pippin's just died, Steve.
The Fellowship has made it through the mines of Moria,
But Pippin's dead.
but Pippin couldn't resist the lure of the ring.
He said, "Oh, Rowdy!"
Is he the one who causes that disturbance in? I don't remember the books, right?
He read the Palantir. He looked in the Palantir.
Fool of a Took.
Exactly.
Is that him?
That's him. Exactly. So,
I think they fucking left him for dead.
what do you reckon? So where are we? So you've taken over, illegally as it turned out, but nevertheless,
We'll make up for it.
you've taken over
Lake Town.
Lake Town,
Lake Town's mine.
and you're amassing your forces in Angmar, attacking...
Excuse me, I don't like you characterizing my my reasonable distribution of population as what did you call it?
Amassing forces.
Amassing forces. You leave Angmar alone.
Gandalf the White is currently in Eastermet.
Big threat to the world, by the way. Gandalf the White.
No,
Guy's
he's sound.
way too powerful. I wouldn't trust him.
And then also, Aragorn and Boromir are on the borders of Minas Tirith.
I'm not really worried about them.
And soon the king will return, Steve.
And
And where are the Fellowship? They're
Frodo and Samwise are
in Dimbril Dale.
How many stops from
Mordor.
Rivendell? No.
One from Lorien, you mean?
1, 2, 3. Four regions.
It depends
from
from where
Rivendell.
you count it, Steve, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That looks like a lot better.
Yeah, exactly.
Except you went through Moria.
Exactly.
Valiantly, I will add.
So, how are you feeling?
I am feeling optimistic.
I think I'm going to drop it in the crack. So with the beautiful voice of the elves in the background, we find ourselves at a crux, Steve. The Witch King is dead.
The Witch King of Angmar. Dead.
He tried to fight against Galadriel, and it didn't work, did it, Steve? He died.
Things are looking grim for the glorious and righteous hordes of Mordor.
Yeah, because if a side is good,
Yeah.
they usually refer to their forces as hordes, don't they?
I mean, good and evil are points of view.
Not in this world anymore, Steve.
Anyway,
So, and also, more importantly, we find Frodo and Samwise the Brave
on the brink.
on the brink of the cracks.
The brink of the crack.
They got Smeagol with them,
Yep.
and they're ready to movie woov.
I'm still confident that you can fuck this up.
Oh, real bad, yeah.
I mean, there's been a little bit of cheating on both sides. You know, learning
Little
game.
bit of cheating,
Learning
but-
game.
but since-
I mean, it's my first game. It's your.
I don't know whether it's the pressure of putting these games onto tape,
Yep.
but since we've been doing these, the weeks since we've been doing these battle reports,
God, it's been so long since.
so
we-
long.
yeah.
I mean, you've gone grey since we've started it.
I mean, I was a young man,
Yeah, I mean, every term is relative.
wet behind the ears.
But my performance in games has risen exponentially, hasn't it?
Exponentially is probably not the word I would use.
Well, I beat you at Blood Bowl. I thrashed you at Blood Bowl.
Yeah, and I wrecked you at Wingspan.
I wouldn't say wrecked. What's
I
15?
pecked your eyes
What's
out.
There's no need to make me feel down about that, Steve.
I realize that you're trying to claw back from the depths of despair after that.
I did have a beak into the abyss when you beat me at Wingspan, Steve. But I didn't get in a flap. But certainly in the War of the Ring, Steve, I'm looking like I'm going to be the jewel, aren't I?
The what?
The jewel,
The jewel?
yeah?
What do you mean the jewel?
It's a ring pun, you knobhead.
Oh, I get it. It's good. Maybe. You're on the brink. You've got 5 steps to go.
5 steps. And I'm only on 3 corruption.
5 steps till Mount Doomsday.
That's... Do you think Tolkien's going to sue me
I mean, he should have
for
named.
using Doom in...
I mean, that's what they should have named the books to begin with.
what, Mount Doom?
5 steps till Mount.
Mount Doomsday?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a better title.
I could have sued him
You
in
should. Yeah,
retrospect.
you should sue the estate. Actually.
So what I want the listeners to do when they're listening to this,
Yep.
think on it. Who do you think's going to win? Is it going to be me, the forces of good, Frodo, Samwise, the Lembas? Or is it going to be the evil orcs
In memory
with their
of the Witch
Cockney
King,
accents?
fallen in battle at the hands of the wicked Galadriel,
Which king?
who was present at the kinslaying in the Blessed Realms during the First Age.
Which king?
The Witch King.
Which king?
The Witch King.
Yeah, that's what I asked you. Which king?
Yeah, the Witch King.
Yes, when I asked you which king.
Yes.
Good.
God, you know these fucking Nazgul have so many crazy names these days.
All right, so we'll be back. We'll see if Middle Earth has been saved.
Just one more question, Ben.
Yes.
What do you feed the mount of a Witch King of Angmar?
Well, they were fed with, I've forgotten the quote, many fell meats.
Well, it seems that the forces of good have triumphed after all.
My precious. So what happened is I looked sure to win, and then Steve committed all of his eye dice to the thing, which means if I draw one particular tile...
Thematically accurate, I think.
Absolutely.
At the very gates
I was on the last space.
of the crack of doom, Ben could taste it.
yeah.
I could taste it for him.
And Steve drew something that killed me, which means the baddies have won. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel,
Allowing evil to triumph.
I feel like the baddies have lost, and finally the world is safe for the peoples of the
For
East.
industrialization.
The peoples of the East, the peoples of the South. Why should all of Middle Earth be only for men
not.
and elves?
It's not. It's not just for men and elves, for everybody. It's for everybody. Just not under your particular leadership. That's all.
I think we have a lot more diversity among the free dark peoples.
Are you trying to force
We've
diversity
got
upon Middle Earth?
we've got orcs. We have other kinds of orcs.
Yeah.
Trolls.
Goblins,
which I think is a kind of orc. We have people from the east and the south.
I think it's disgusting.
Vaguely racially, never mind.
So what do you think is going to happen to Middle Earth now you've won?
I think we're actually living in it right now. Have you read the news?
I have. That's very good.
Yep.
This is the history of our planet.
Yeah, I
so-
think this is actually a more accurate telling of the story than
Yeah.
what we read in the books.
Yeah. So, come on then, Steve. What do you think?
Of the game?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we can't possibly count this game.
No, you need a big star by it.
We need what?
A big star next to it. Next to the
Yeah,
results.
yeah. No, it's terrific. I mean, it's deliciously thematic,
Yeah.
and I can't say that I really care about theme in most games I play.
But a Lord of the Rings one, you want a bit of theme, don't you? You know what I mean?
Special case.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I ever get to play Star Wars Rebellion, I'll feel the same way. And yeah, like certain games,
But I give a shit about Lord of the Rings. I don't give
Yeah.
a shit about Star Wars. So that makes a difference, I think.
I don't give a shit as much either. But I would get more into it. But by and large, I mean, it's nice to have a theme. But this game is super thematic, right? And because I'm so connected to the source material, I'm like more connected to the gameplay, to the strategy, to the tension and the drama.
But the thing is, I think games are a particular art form in and of themselves. They have particular requirements that I think they need to fulfill to be considered successful as games. And one of them is that you can't just have words portraying theme. Mechanics have to feel thematic. You have to feel like what you're doing. The hunt mechanic is absolutely fantastic. The more you move as the Fellowship, the more the eyes of Mordor are upon you and the more dangerous it becomes.
Are you suggesting that the mechanics of a game are the medium through which this form of art expresses itself?
To a large extent,
Like the mechanics are the paint
right.
or the notes or,
Exactly.
or whatever.
Because
The turn of phrase.
Well, partly they're the unique aspect.
I mean, I would
In the same-
I
in the
agree
s-
about this, by the way.
In the same way as visual arts can use words,
Yeah.
but that's a minor thing. In the same way that music can use words, but actually it's the music that conveys the art. In the same way as games, the mechanics are what conveys the art, and the words can be used to supplement it and support it. But the main thrust for it to be considered successful, I think, is for it to have mechanical
This might be
success.
this might be the most successful combination of theme with mechanics that I've ever seen.
I mean, I think there are lots of games that are super successful, but this is absolutely wonderful in terms of evoking that tension, in terms of evoking that feeling of the movie. And even though there are counterfactuals, Helm's Deep was taken super quick, for instance.
Yep.
Those counterfactuals are fun if you know the book, but at the same time, it never loses any of that feeling of being Lord of the Rings. The counterfactuals don't count against it; they support it.
Yep. I mean, I was saying it reminds me a little bit of Twilight Struggle in that you're revising history, but in a way that maintains the tension of the historical.
And it's a card-driven
story.
war game, right? But
Yeah, and but this mechanic with the I as the I don't like to say evil player. I as the player who controls the red colored figures on the
Indeed.
board, I get to ratchet up the tension at will.
at will,
And then you get to decide if you want to take risks.
yes.
There's so much control on either side.
And it evokes the book in the same way.
But there are trade-offs too, right? Like I have to devote resources to searching
Right.
for you that I can't use elsewhere on the board.
And the thing is, the Free Peoples are essentially reactive. The only active measure they have is moving the Fellowship
Yep.
and breaking up the Fellowship. And the way they've incentivized you to break up the Fellowship. And it's great. It's mechanics incentivizing you to do what's in the books, which is super clever too, right?
And also what's amazing about the books is you just have no idea really how things are going to end up until the very last moment.
Right.
Like you're always on the knife's edge. It looked to me like you had this in the bag.
Absolutely.
But you
I
never
was convinced I
you just
had it
you
in the
never really know.
And the point is as well, right? The thing is with books, games can do this in a way that books can't. In a book, even though a skillful writer will keep the tension ramped up so you feel like you don't know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah,
Lord of
yeah.
the Rings, you don't think he's going to pull a bait and switch at the end and Sauron's going to win. But he's a skilled writer, so he keeps the tension up. Whereas in a game, you can change that result.
In the
at
book,
end.
you know there's going to be a happy ending. You just
Right.
you just don't know
How.
how. Yeah. I mean also it's bittersweet in a way.
Oh, but of course it's bittersweet. I mean, that's why Tolkien's so interesting, because the world has to denude itself of magic to move on.
Yeah.
The death hangs over the whole book. What's wonderful about this game is...
We can be nude and have the magic.
Yeah, I mean, this game doesn't have any of the philosophy, right? It doesn't have any philosophy of Lord of the Rings. It has the war.
The philosophy?
Yeah, it doesn't go into the ramifications of success. Because the Free People's winning in the book, what that means is the end of a certain age,
the end of the Third Age, right? The elves depart from Middle Earth and it becomes the Age of Men.
Right. And this is a war game. This isn't a philosophical game.
Kind of a war game.
I think it's absolutely a war game.
I mean, the mechanics of fighting are really simple.
But it's an asymmetrical war game.
They're clever. Yeah, I guess so. It seems like it's asymmetrical.
In the sense that you have all the power.
I don't know if it's a war game.
You have all the... Like at one point you turned to me and you said, I should have been much, much more aggressive in this.
Yeah, I think you have to play thematically.
Yeah. Because
the game is set up that you do it.
The game is mechanically set up. And this, I guess a lot of war gamers would say, yeah.
Maybe.
They would say that's what war game design is.
But do they tend to be asymmetric in the same way?
Often.
I haven't played loads of war games.
I mean, often if you're doing a battle, right? If you're recreating a battle in a war game, you'll have this situation where one side is reactive and one side is active, right? I guess. I mean, I'm not a big war game player.
There's like so much else going on in this game that makes it not like a war game, though. I hesitate to call it a war game, like to put it in that genre.
What detracts it from being a war game for you?
Well, because it has the hunt for the ring element to it, right? There's like two games in one.
That's true, but the thing is, the way you demonstrate yourself, the way you counteract the agency that the Free People have is by playing a war game, right?
The way I do as the
because you've got to
red player.
Yeah, you've got to get victory points. So you've got to go in. Basically, you've got to be super quick in your fighting. You were never going to win this on a points victory.
No,
because you came out of the gates too slow, right?
Well, at first I thought I came out of the gates too quickly, and then I realized so many of my cards involve mustering, and actually a lot of the battle cards involve sacrifice.
Right.
That I obviously just need to keep coming and coming and coming.
Because you've got an endless supply of blokes, right?
Because I mean, if you look at the map right now, I've got a lot of guys on the map, but they're not in places where I can easily use them. You have to move and attack, but at the same time, right? The balance is I also need to be looking for the ring bearer.
Right.
So if you want to call it a war game, it's definitely a war game with a twist. And we can replay this story over and over again. Each time, it's gonna work out differently.
It's in my top 10 games, and my evaluation hasn't changed. If anything, it's gone up. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. I think it's brilliant.
Well, we need to play it again.
Well, I think we should stop next. It's been a long afternoon, and I'm hungry, and
I don't mean today.
I need to eat.
I don't mean today, but we should play this again soon before we forget all the rules.
I need to eat the fellest of meats.
Whether you would like to admit it or not, you made this Battle Report possible. So thank you again, and hold on to your trousers for another exciting Battle Report coming soon.